Today we'll be revisiting UNTOTEN 5,281 days later. This is a new series that I want to start where we're just going to be going back, playing some of the older zombies maps. I'm probably going to be going in order of release, which means first we'll be playing NOTEN, and then VERRUCKT, and then NUMA, and so on. As we play, I might talk about some of my memories with the maps, you know, maybe some of the developmental history behind the maps, just basic but fun stuff like that. Also, I know I could have made the title something simpler, like revisiting NOTEN 15 years later, but, you know, I wanted to do something a bit different. Is it weird to say that 5,281 days sounds way shorter than 15 years? Like, sure, 5,281 days isn't a short amount of time by any means. It's just that when I think about waking up 5,281 times, that doesn't seem like that many compared to 15 years. Anyway, mindless ramblings aside, this was the first ever zombies map that I ever played, which is quite fitting considering that this was the first zombies map ever made. I played this back in 2008, and let me just tell you, I've been in love with Call of Duty Zombies ever since. I followed each of the games, each of the new maps that released, and like each of the DLCs inside of each of the games. I love Call of Duty Zombies. I have so much love and nostalgia for this mode, and I assume that you do if you're watching this video right now. So basically, if I could kind of like chronicle my history with zombies, I totally didn't mean for that to be a pun, by the way, with like Zombies Chronicles. So I started with World of War back in 2008, and then after that, I ended up playing the mobile version of the game. If you guys remember that, back in the day, it was like $5 on the App Store, but it came with the maps that released in World of War. And the release schedule for the maps on mobile zombies actually ended up following pretty closely to the console counterparts as well. Like, a map would release on console and then would release shortly later on mobile. And if I'm gonna be honest, for a while there, VERRUCKT was actually my most played and also my favorite zombies map. To this day, when it comes to revisiting World of War, you know, most people revisit World of War to play RIESE, you know, camp on the catwalk, get Pack-a-Punch, hang out with their friends, try to get to like round 30 or something like that. But I don't know, I've always been a bit different in that regard. When it comes to revisiting World of War Zombies, I've always just kind of like gravitated towards VERRUCKT for some reason. Like, that's the map that I'm always replaying. I don't know, there's something about the atmosphere on the map and the challenge of it and like how tight it is. It's just like, it's so intense even on the lower rounds. You never know when a zombie's gonna sneak up on you. You never know when your run's gonna end. Like, it could end in the blink of an eye, even for the most veteran and skilled of zombies players. That's part of why I actually really like Vanguard Zombies, as controversial as that is to say, because, you know, while it's not the hardest zombies game in the world, it's definitely a bit more challenging than something like, say, Black Ops Cold War. Heck, I would say that Vanguard Zombies is actually one of the more challenging modes that we've had in a while, because you think to like Black Ops 3, that one was a bit easier due to the gobble gum mechanics. Black Ops 4, you spawned in with your specialist weapons. Black Ops Cold War, we all know how easy it is to get to high rounds on that game. The only other recent zombies game that I could even say was remotely like challenging to the extent of something, say, like Black Ops 1 or World of War probably would have been World War 2 in 2017. But otherwise, ever since like, I'd say 2015 when Black Ops 3 came out, Zombies has definitely gotten a bit easier, and that's not bad by any means. In fact, I actually kind of like how easily you can scale the difficulty in Black Ops 3, because if you want that classic and challenging experience, just don't use gobblegums, stay away from some of the more OP items, and you can have a really challenging experience. Or you can make it a bit easier for yourself and, you know, use those gobblegums, use the OP wonder weapons. Same goes for something like Black Ops 4, you know, you don't have to use the specialist weapons, you don't have to use the OP stuff. If you want to play it basic, and if you want a more challenging experience, you can have that on top of the difficulty levels that the game already provides you with, and then you have mutations on top of that in Black Ops 4. But I don't know, even with all that, I find myself revisiting World of War specifically so often. There's just something about it, you know, it's really basic, yet it's really intense, and it has that like sense of difficulty and just like true horror to it every time you play it. Like, you never know when death is gonna sneak up on you. Granted, World of War Zombies definitely isn't my favorite one. I mean, when it comes to picking my favorite zombies game, that's like picking my favorite child. I truthfully just can't do that. However, when it comes to like nostalgia and bias due to nostalgia, Black Ops 2 is definitely my favorite, which is why I'm hoping that the series can at least last long enough for us to reach Black Ops 2 so that I can make a bunch of videos just gushing about that game. Yeah, I genuinely love World of War. Now, granted, oh, no. Oh, wait. No, that wasn't supposed... Okay, we're gonna restart. That wasn't supposed to happen. See, right now I'm playing without audio, so I didn't even hear that zombie sneak up on me, and by the time that it started hitting me, if you guys know how World of War's mechanics works, if a zombie hits you, you're probably already dead. I don't even know what causes that, but every time that a zombie hits you in this game, they literally just suck you in and you can't move. So if you get hit once, chances are you're gonna die. But anyway, as I was trying to say before, you know, the difficulty thing definitely doesn't apply to all the maps in this game. If you guys know anything about NUMA, well, I have two words for you. round 10,000. I'm sure RIESE would have been no different in terms of like the extreme rounds you could get to in that map if it wasn't for the fact that the zombie cap was removed in that map. So like in NACHT, UNTOTEN, VERRUCKT, and NUMA, only a max of 24 zombies can spawn per round, which is why high rounds on like NUMA specifically is so high, because you have access to the Wonder Waff, and then when you combine that with the fact that it literally only takes like 2 or 3 shots to finish a round, yeah, you can get to around 10,000 like it's nothing on that map. However, on something like RIESE, it's a bit more challenging because that zombie cap isn't there. So you'll be dealing with literal like hundreds of zombies on that. So even though you have stuff like Pack-a-Punch and the Wonder Waff there to help you, you know, it's still a bit harder to get to those higher rounds just due to how many zombies you'll actually be dealing with. I'm out of bullets, and like I'm trying to save my money for the box, but I think I ought to just buy the carbine. I don't want to risk death again. I can't even tell you the last time that I actually just like bought the carbine off the wall. That's just something I never do. I usually just save up my points and go for the box. Normally I don't ever shoot on round 1 either, but considering the fact that I already had to make you guys sit through 6 very slow rounds, which that's another thing we'll have to talk about in a minute. I was trying to shoot the zombies on round 1, but now I realize I would have been better off just knifing for the sake of points. Yeah, speaking of slow rounds, NACHT and UNTOTEN is so unbearably slow at times, okay? On any other map, you can probably get to round 10 and, oh, I don't know, maybe like 15 minutes tops. But in NACHT and UNTOTEN, I kid you not, it is taking me upwards of like 20 to 25 minutes just to get to round 10. Like, it may not sound that big of a difference, like, you know, it's only like 5 or 10 minutes, but trust me, when you're playing zombies, that time adds up very, very quick, and it never gets any faster, because when the zombies are approaching you from their spawn, see, like, sure, seeing them come in from the fog in the forest and seeing them, like, slowly fade into view, it adds to the atmosphere, it adds to the horror, but there's one very important thing that it takes away from, and it's the pace overall, okay? When you die in this map, it's very hard to get motivated to start up another game. Like, when I died just a few moments ago on round 6, I had to work with myself to build up the motivation to want to restart, because every time that you die, even just to get back up to where we just were at round 6, I mean, I cut a lot of it out, but that took me like almost a solid 12 minutes to get to. Thankfully, every single map after this one fixed that problem. Like in the next map, VERRUCKT, for example, like as soon as you spawn in, they don't have to take more than 20 steps before they're at your window, but in this map, oh my gosh, they're just slowly taking their time, walking a whole mile before they even approach the window from the tree line over there. Now, box, it would be really great if I could get, like, I don't know, a ray gun or something, just something to speed up the rounds a bit more, maybe. I'm not taking that. I also just love the weapons in World of War. There's something about World War II weapons, I've always loved them. They're so clean and like so raw. There's just something about them. The way that they feel to shoot, their reloads, their sounds, it's just, I love them. The PPSH, the MP40, the MG42, like all those classic weapons, I just love them. And I've always been a fan of the FG42. I know there's probably not that many FG42 fans out there, but for some reason, every time that I used to play RIESE back in the day, I always grabbed the FG42. I always Pack-a-Punched it. I have no idea why. I love that gun. Fun fact about that gun for you guys, for those of you that don't know, that gun is actually an LMG. See, for the longest time, I thought it was like an SMG or an AR, but no, it's actually an LMG. I've always found the name of LMGs to be very misleading. Like, why are they light machine guns? Shouldn't they be like HMVs, like heavy machine guns? Maybe there's another reason for it, like the caliber of rounds that they shoot. Maybe, I really don't know. You know, normally I wouldn't take the scoped car, but I mean, hey, I'm in the mood to quick scope some zombies. I mean, we're playing a game from 2008, so it's only fitting that we get at least a couple of quick scopes in. Still just as satisfying as ever. Alright, mystery box. Now, if I could please get a ray gun, please. A trench gun. You know what? I'll take that. The trench gun is actually one of my favorite shotguns in zombies. Just listen to the sound of this thing. It's just... it's so clean. I love it. I don't even know what to say right now. Like, it's just, this is so satisfying. Even though shotguns are usually kind of frowned upon, like when it comes to older zombies games, like anything before BO3, people usually don't gravitate towards shotguns, but I absolutely love them. I've always found it so satisfying just having a shotgun, just like one big blast pumping it back. I love... Yes. Now, you just gotta be careful with this thing because, you know, the splash damage in World of War is pretty strong. Even if you have Jug, one hit from the splash damage will get you down. So, I definitely gotta watch myself now. But at this point, I truthfully see no reason to use any other weapon. I mean, it's the ray gun. It's funny how, like, revive me, bro, I have the ray gun kind of became a meme, but honestly, that was a genuine thing back in the day. Like, if you were playing with a kid that had the ray gun in World of War or Black Ops 1, not so much in Black Ops 2. I mean, it happened in some of the Black Ops 2 maps, maps like Transit where there really wasn't any other reliable wonder weapons. I can't tell you how many times I tried to play games of zombies with randoms, and one of them would be like an 8-year-old kid, and they'd just be sitting there screaming in my ear, "Please revive me, I have the ray gun, I can't lose this, man. I swear to God, you better revive me, bro. If you don't revive me, I'm gonna leave the game. This is my ray gun. I'm gonna tell my mom." Gaming and the Call of Duty community as a whole was just, it was different back then. It's one of those things where you honestly just had to be there. Between like 2007 and like, I don't know, maybe like 2013, if you were on Xbox Live and PSN, it was just, it truly was a different time than it is today. That's also why folks like me have really thick skin, because I played a lot of online games back in the day, like Halo and Call of Duty, Gears of War, like all the other shooters like that. So the things you were called, the things you were told, the things that were said to you, and just everything that you heard on those like games back in the day, let me tell you, that'll put some hair on your chest. It'll thicken your skin. None of us have ever truly been the same after hearing half the stuff that we did back then. Any other weapons? Please? I think I'm gonna go to round 10, then I'm probably gonna call it quits, since we already had like a game before this. I don't want to drag the video out and, you know, make it boring or anything like that for any of y'all. As much as I love the Black Ops 1 remaster of this map and, you know, the Zombies Chronicle remaster of this map and Black Ops 3, every time that I need a fix on one of these, like, older World of War maps, I always just end up coming back to this game and playing the original version of it. Like I said, I love Black Ops 3, I love the engine, and I love the remasters of the maps, but it's just, there's something about the original feel of this game, man. It is just, it's so nostalgic, it's so good. I miss when the ray gun was this powerful. I mean, sure, it's powerful again in Cold War, but for, like, a couple of games there, it truly kind of, like, lost its identity, and it didn't feel as impactful or as important as it did back in the day. But when it comes to, like, coming back to World of War, and playing a map like NACHT or VERRUCKT that truly just doesn't have any other better wonder weapons, it feels so good using the ray gun, man. I love this weapon. Anyway, like I said, we already did a game before this and we're at round 10, and with how slow that this map moves, that's kind of like the equivalent of round 20 on any other map. That's what I'm gonna call it. Just gonna shoot myself with a ray gun. Now I definitely want to hear from you guys. Do you guys have any sort of nostalgia for World of War, or were you a little too young? Did you miss that era? Were you there for Black Ops 3 at least, maybe? Whatever it is, whatever you're thinking, I definitely want to hear from you guys. Today we're going to be revisiting VERRUCKT 5,154 days later. For those of you that are new to the channel, this is a series that I just started yesterday at the time of me recording this. Basically, we're just going to be going back in time and we're going to be playing each of the zombies maps in order of release, just revisiting the map, talking about the maps, talking about my history with each of the maps, whether I love them, whether I don't. Spoiler alert, each of the zombies maps are like my children. It's hard for me to pick a favorite, and furthermore, I literally can't hate a zombies map. I love the mode too much. But most important of all, we're just going to be kicking back and having a good time with some of our favorite zombies maps. So if that sounds like a good time to you, then just, I don't know, kick back, relax, grab a drink, grab a snack. Though I must warn all of you, it's going to be a lot harder to get cozy on this map compared to other ones because, yeah, this map is pretty horrifying. Out of any zombies map that is ever released, Zombie VERRUCKT is most definitely the scariest zombies map, in my opinion at least. I mean, sure, Mob of the Dead is a pretty strong contender, and I would say, like, in terms of atmosphere and horror, like, Mob of the Dead, that one could probably go second place, but, like, let's be honest with ourselves. VERRUCKT is easily the most terrifying zombies map that has ever been made. Not only in terms of atmosphere, thematics, and just, like, the map and the location itself is scary, but also on, like, a fundamental gameplay level, this map is just, you feel so tense the entire time you're playing it, because not only is World of War a bit glitchier, and not only is the game and the game engine itself just fighting against you at all times, like, just like it was right there, because for those of you that don't know, in World of War Zombies, for some reason, all the zombies suck you in. So if they hit you once, you're probably gonna die. I don't know why it's like that. I've always hated that. If they hit you once, they suck you in. They won't let you go. They just got that, like, gravitational pull on you. I've always hated that. That's part of what makes the map so terrifying, is just, like, how glitchy the game is. But furthermore, there's just, like, very little that can help you in this map. Like, sure, you got the mystery box, sure, you got the ray gun, but there's no official... Did we just see the same? Did that zombie just, like, glitch from there? Like, zap? I don't know. Maybe I'm just seeing stuff, but I swear that zombie totally just glitched. Outside of the ray gun, there's, like, no real wonder weapons for you to rely on. Like, you're genuinely just alone here. And even then, the ray gun is usually a death trap in World of War, just because with how powerful the splash damage is, it always gets you down in one hit. So, you know, if you shoot a zombie that's too close to you, well, sorry, your run is over. However, they did add some things to this map to aid you and, you know, just help make things a bit less tense and help you out a bit. And those are the perks. Juggernaut trigger knock, speed cola, double tap, and quick revive. Unfortunately, the main function of quick revive that most players end up using wasn't actually a feature in World of War. So for those of you that don't know, in solo only, this doesn't work in multiplayer, only in solo, quick revive acts as like a self-revive. So if you go down, you'll get back up as long as you have quick revive, but unfortunately, that's not how it works in World of War. In World of War, the only function that quick revive serves is, well, what the name says. You're able to revive your friends faster in co-op, but outside of that, it really serves no purpose. So if you purchase it in solo, you're basically just wasting your money. For me, I have really bad OCD, so I always end up purchasing it anyway, because like, there's something in my brain, I need to see the original 4 perks sitting in the bottom corner. It doesn't matter what order I buy them in necessarily, I need all 4 sitting down there when I'm playing World of War, or just, you know, any of the classic zombies games before more perks were introduced. Like, for example, if I'm playing Black Ops 3, you know, I don't necessarily need speed cola, or I can trade that out for Windows 1, but if I'm playing something like Black Ops 2 or something before that, I need those 4 perks sitting down there. This was also the first zombies map to have like a full-on Easter egg song. Unfortunately, I won't be able to play it because I believe they're copyrighted. I don't know if they actually are. I've seen those songs on Apple Music and Spotify and stuff like that, so I don't know if they're actually copyrighted, like if it would get me a copyright strike for playing them. But regardless, basically how it works is you come through here and then you flush the toilet 3 times and then the song starts playing. There was technically a song of sorts in NACHT and UNTOTEN, though it wasn't really the same thing. Like, you hit the radio a couple of times and then there was like a song that would start playing, but it wasn't like a traditional song that we've come to think of over the years from other zombies maps, like 115 or Lullaby of a Dead Man, which is the one in this one, or like Beauty of Annihilation and RIESE. It's crazy how many innovations were made between NACHT and UNTOTEN in this map, because, you know, it was only a couple of maps between the releases, and it's crazy seeing how quickly things evolve. Like, in the span of one map, they introduced perks, a mystery box that can move around the map, because this was also the first map to feature the teddy bear. This was also the first map to introduce the power and the iconic, like, hand on it that's, like, half ripped off. I said it in last night's video, but when it comes to replaying World of War and World of War Zombies specifically, I always gravitate towards VERRUCKT. Like, I know this game has NACHT, I know this game has NUMA, I know it has RIESE, but it's just, there's something about VERRUCKT, it always keeps me coming back. I love this map so much. Between the atmosphere and the difficulty and just like how tense and horrific the map is, I've always loved it. And there's something so satisfying about like getting set up and just like camping out here with your buds, shooting the zombies as they come down the hall, using the electric trap to your advantage, since, you know, there's not really any wonder weapons at this map, so you end up usually relying on traps or doing like whole map trains. Because due to how tight and claustrophobic the map is, there's not really any good training spots. You usually end up just doing like a whole map train, utilizing the traps, or you end up camping here, but again, camping here isn't something you can really do long term, just because, you know, the trap has a cooldown after you use it. And this map also has those insane super sprinters that can only be rivaled by the likes of like round 50 Vanguard zombies. I'm actually gonna go ahead and pick up Jug. Lord knows that I need it. I know it's only round 4, but like, dude, this is World of War. You need all the advantages you can get. I just want to say that I'm really happy to finally be making this series. This is something I've been wanting to do like in the entirety of me making YouTube videos. Even before I started making YouTube videos on a daily basis, and even before this became like my full-time job, this has been a series I've always wanted to do. I've attempted to do it before, like back before I started doing YouTube. I tried like streaming it on Twitch and YouTube. It was a really jank setup that I had going back in the day. I would basically stream it to Twitch, but then I was using like a third-party website that would mirror my stream from Twitch and then also stream it to my channel on YouTube. It was a really interesting setup I had going there. I mean, I got a couple of episodes deep. Actually, I made it pretty far in that series. I made it all the way up to Black Ops 2, but then I gave up around like, I'm pretty sure Mob of the Dead was the last one that I did in that series, and then I just kind of gave up. But again, that was like years ago, and I don't even think those videos are public anymore. We have a bit of a problem here. I'm like completely out of ammo on my MP40, and all I have is grenades, so I gotta play this really carefully. I'm trying to just evade these zombies, get back to the MP40 wall by, but I'm stunned right now. Oh my gosh. Zombies, please work with me, please. I haven't, nope. Please move. Oh my gosh. You know what? Sometimes it sucks how janky and glitchy World of War is, but other times it plays in your favor just like it did there. Give me ammo. I need ammo so bad right now. Wait, what are these zombies doing? They're just glitched out. Free kills? Okay, I'm going down the stairs. No! Oh, you should never go down the stairs in VERRUCKT mid-round. Doesn't matter what staircase it is. If it's a staircase, don't go near it mid-round. You also gotta watch out with the nukes in this game. Even if you get a nuke, it doesn't matter what map it is, the zombies can still kill you. Oh yes, the bar. Because, yes, this is the gun that I wanted. This gun is so slow that it makes my grandmother blush. Can we just get a check on that fire rate?
still.
Why is it so slow? This is an assault rifle. If I wanted a semi-auto, I would go buy a semi-auto. I mean, granted, it deals a decent amount of damage, but like still, it's, oh, there's the super sprinters. We're only on round 6, and the super sprinters are already rearing their heads. Don't get me wrong, I actually like the super sprinters in this map. It's part of what like adds to the difficulty and tension and stuff, but it's like, they're really... See, you could only survive that on VERRUCKT. Like, there is no other map where I should be alive right now. That is only on VERRUCKT. It is the most bizarre glitch in all of Zombies history. For some reason, sometimes Jug will go from providing you with, like, an extra 3 hits of damage to, like, 15. You guys just saw that happen in real time. I cannot stand how slow that this weapon fires, so to compensate, I'm going to buy one of the new perks that was added to this map, Double Tap Root Beer. Essentially, all that this does in World of War and Black Ops 1 is it speeds up your fire rate, but you know what? I find that to be genuinely pretty useful. Most people avoid Double Tap 1 and they see it as a waste of points and a waste of ammo, but the way I see it, you're not wasting ammo. You're expending the same amount of ammo that you would be otherwise. You're just doing it faster, which means you're killing the zombies faster, which can actually save your life in a lot of instances. So I've never really understood why people say it's a waste of money or it's like a waste of points, because it's not. The only way you would be wasting ammo is if you're shooting more bullets than you actually have to because your aim sucks. I mean, I won't deny that Double Tap 2 is much better, because in Black Ops 2 and every Zombies game after that that had Double Tap 2, it essentially doubles your fire rate, but it also doubles the damage that you do. So, you know, it's like, it's very useful, because for every bullet that you shoot, 2 come out, even though you only lose 1 from your magazine, if that makes sense. So say you have like a Colt 1911, you start with 8 bullets in the mag, you shoot 1 bullet from the mag, and then it goes from saying that you have 8 bullets down to 7. However, when you shot just then, 2 actually came out and hit that zombie. And then furthermore, like I was saying, it also acts to like double your fire rate and allows you to shoot a lot quicker at the same time. So Double Tap 2 all around is just a lot better. Oh yes, I just traded it in, but you know, the box just really wants me to have this gun for some reason. I'm not even gonna lie, I used to actually really love the bar back in the day. Again, another thing that I talked about in last night's video is that I used to play the mobile version of World of War Zombies like a lot on my iPod Touch, and I used to always buy the bar in that version. I'm not sure why, I loved how the gun felt and like how powerful it was. And I don't know, there's something about holding this gun and then purchasing Double Tap Root Beer and watching the fire rate go from utterly abysmal to something like actually good and deal a lot of damage. It was always so satisfying to me. And furthermore, the bar is really good for headshots, and on mobile, like, it kind of had like some auto aim built into the game. Now granted, you weren't just like locking on zombies left and right. However, there was like a bit of aim assist that happened in the game. That was good when it came to like helping you pull off headshots, and every time that you got a headshot, there was like a multiplier that would like show up in the top of the screen, and every time that you got a headshot, another number would be added to it. So if you chained together like 10 headshots in a row, it just made you feel so good because you knew that you were killing it. There was also another cool feature tied into it where like the more headshots that you chain together and the more points you would get per headshot. Like, I'm surprised that that isn't an actual thing in Zombies, or if it is, I'm stupid. My accuracy is so bad that I've never gotten to experience it, but as far as I know, it's not actually a thing in Zombies. It was like only in that version of the game, but your shots had to be like spot on. Like, you couldn't be missing any shots. Every single bullet that came out of your gun had to land on their head specifically. It didn't matter if it killed them or not. If it didn't hit them in the head, then it didn't count. My OCD is kicking in, so I think it's high time that we go get the rest of the perks, even Quick Revive. Like I said earlier in the video, Quick Revive is absolutely useless in World of War, but I don't care. I buy it every single time. Speed Cola is one of the most satisfying perks in Zombies. Just look at those reload speeds. It is so good. Wait, let's get a reload check on the bar real quick. Oh, it's actually bearable now. Speaking of the bar, we got the wall buy over here. Bar plus bipod for 2,500 points. Oh, and I'm dead. Okay, you know what? I'm kind of frustrated about that. I really wanted to get Quick Revive, but now I can't. Anyway, as I was trying to point out, yeah, you guys choose. Would you rather buy Jug or a bar with a bipod? One final note before we end this video. There is another thing that this map blessed us with. A designated wall buy for the Springfield. If you don't know why the Springfield is so terrible, that's a conversation for another day. Today we're going to be revisiting NUMA 5,071 days later. As I've said many times in this series so far, I've been really excited to make this series for a very long time. However, these next couple maps hold a very special and nostalgic place in my heart, as starting with NUMA. There is so many innovations and so many additions that were made in this map that truly revolutionized Zombies as we know it going forward. We'll talk about those things throughout this episode, but if you guys are excited for this, well then, I don't know, lean back, grab a snack, grab a drink, relax, get cozy, cozy because we're about to get nostalgic. So this map was the introduction of our beloved crew, that being the Ultimus crew with Tank Dempsey, Nikolai Belinsky, Takio Misaki, and Dr. Edward Richtofen. If you're newer to COD Zombies, you might not be as familiar with Ultimus. You may be more familiar with Primus, which is the crew that we play as at the end of Black Ops 2 and through the entirety of Black Ops 3 and for part of Black Ops 4. There's a whole lot to explain with the zombie storyline there, so we're not even going to get into it in this episode since we really don't even need to worry about it for 2 whole games yet. Before we get too far into the video, I definitely want to hear from you guys in the comments. Who is your favorite from the original Ultimus crew? It's honestly really hard for me to pick one. Like, if I had to choose one, I couldn't. I love all of them for their own reasons. Tank Dempsey is the stern but kind of insane Marine. You know, you got the drunk Russian that everybody loves. Dr. Edward Richtofen, I mean, he's just...
No ammo. Good old-fashioned lightning gun. Sweet.
Yes. As I was saying, Richtofen is insane, but obviously we love him for it. And, you know, Takio, I love Takio and all, but he was definitely the one where if the game made me play as him for any reason, I was like, okay, yeah, cool, I'm Takio, but it wasn't anything I was ecstatic over. Anyway, I was not expecting this to happen. I guess we'll go ahead and talk about it now. Yeah, this was the first Zombies map to have an official wonder weapon. Like, sure, the ray gun is a wonder weapon, but I mean like a real wonder weapon, like one that can take you to high rounds. And since we got this wonder weapon so early, I mean, I guess we'll go ahead and get to the training spot. So for those of you that don't know, there is like a very particular strategy that people that go for high rounds on this map do. See, what I always did and what I thought was the best training spot was out here in the comm room. Like, you go out here and you train around that area. But apparently my entire life is a lie, and I just learned like last year that the best place you want to go to is actually out here in the fishing hut. This map also caught me way off guard back in the day because back then training wasn't exactly a thing. Like, it was sort of a thing. Like, it started here in NUMA where people kind of started to figure it out, but then by the time RIESE rolled around, since the catwalk was such a great spot to camp, people kind of forgot about it. And then when UNTOTEN rolled around, that's when training got really popular with people like Syndicate going for like round 115 on the stage. But back in the day, yeah, NUMA kind of caught like all of us off guard because we were like, wait, there's nowhere to camp, so what do we do? So we just kind of started like running around trying to figure it out. And I remember shortly after this map came out, you know, it took me a couple of games to figure it out, but I started kind of like running around in the comm room and I was like, oh, okay, this strategy kind of works. And I remember getting to like round 30 and being so happy over it. I was like, oh my gosh, I actually made it to round 30. But before we get into all that, before we get into high round strategies, I really want to find Jug, which unfortunately, it's harder to find Jug on this map than it is on literally any other map. And you may be wondering, Grotesque, why is that so? And that is because every single perk on this map is randomized. So when you go to open up one of the huts, a perk will spawn. However, you have no idea what perk it's going to be. It's random every single game. And there's 4 huts. You can either get Jug as early as round 4, like we may here, or I thought I was gonna die right there, if I'm gonna be honest. Or you might get unlucky and you might not get it until way later on, like, I don't know, round 12, round 13, probably by the time you get everything opened up. Please give me Jug. This is World of War. Like, I like getting Jug as soon as possible, just given the circumstances. And I got Speakola. Okay, that is not what I wanted. I used to think that the perks on this map, like, were free, because when you go up to them for some reason, it just says press and hold X to buy. Obviously, on every other map, it says, you know, this perk costs 2,000, this perk costs 1,500, this perk costs 2,500. But on this map, it doesn't say that. You just go up to it and it says press and hold X to buy. So as a kid, I was like, oh, does that mean the perks are free? And then unfortunately it wasn't. I mean, sure, at the top it says $3,000, but the thing is, the currency in Zombies isn't dollars. It's just points. So, you know, that technically, canonically, and lore speaking, $3,000 doesn't exactly mean much because, like, for all we know, $3,000 in points can be a lot more or a lot less. Anyway, stupid nerdy stuff aside, yeah, I mean, I don't know. That just always kind of caught me off guard. I always just found that kind of interesting. We should be seeing one of the new additions that this map has to offer soon. No, okay, it's not going to be this round either, so I guess we'll have to wait till next round to see it. In the meantime, I got to be really careful. I'm not going to let this Wonder Waff go. I do not want to go down. I mean, I guess I could play it safe and just kind of like stay out here in the typical training spot. So basically what you do is you just train them up out here. Personally, I really don't like doing this until I have Jug, just because it's really easy to get caught up out here. And if I'm going to be honest, I really suck at training on World of War, just given the circumstances of how glitchy it is and how easily the zombies can suck you in. I always feel really unsafe training on this game. Even once I'm set up with all my perks, I feel really unsafe. I feel like death is awaiting me at every turn. Unfortunately, though, there's not really a workaround for that because, as I've said, there's not really any good camping spots on this map. Not to my knowledge, at least. I mean, I've been playing this map for a solid 14 years now, and I've never found a good camping spot. And unfortunately, my Wonder Waff is almost out of ammo. I have been kind of, you know, going trigger happy with it because, I mean, I haven't gotten the World of War Wonder Waff in so long. I can't even tell you the last time that I booted up World of War NUMA. And this is really the only map that I'm comfortable with using the Wonder Waff. Wait.
Fetch me their
There it is. This is one of the other new additions in this map, and that is the Hellhounds. However, unfortunately, I am very low on ammo, so I have to be rather careful here. Hopefully, I do not go down. I'm going to go ahead and grab some ammo for the Thompson, and we're going to open up this door and pray that Jug is out here. Hellhounds in the new games, they really aren't as scary because they aren't as much of a threat. However, in World of War, that is not the case. These guys are absolutely terrifying. They will rock your stuff, and they will get you down without even looking at you twice. Come on, there we go. Got the max ammo. Hellhounds in World of War were a true threat. In Black Ops 1, they were still kind of a threat, but not so much. Black Ops 2, they weren't even in any of the Black Ops 2 maps unless you went into the settings and turned them on manually, and then by the time Black Ops 3 came around, they were just like popcorn enemies. You shoot them once and they explode, and that's it. Black Ops 4, they became kind of scary again because you had stuff like the Tigers where at launch they could get you down to like one shot, and that sucked. And then in games like Black Ops Cold War, yeah, they're just kind of like popcorn enemies again. It's really taking me back seeing the OG version of this map again, like all these locations, because the last time that I've played NUMA was on Vanguard Zombies. Like anytime that I've had the itching to play NUMA, I've just went to Vanguard because honestly, you know, say what you will about Vanguard Zombies, I thoroughly enjoy NUMA on that game. And I know this is a very controversial hot take, but NUMA on Vanguard is one of my favorite round-based maps of all time. It's genuinely a lot of fun to play. Plus, I really love all the new additions that they made between the Easter egg and the Pack-a-Punch. It's a really full and fun experience. Not to mention the fact that they added a really good training spot out back, which, you know, obviously it's closed off in here because it wasn't even a part of the original map, but on the new version of NUMA, there's a door right here. You open it, you go out there, and Pack-a-Punch is waiting for you, and there's like this big area. It's like a really good training spot. But anyways, one last thing about the Hellhounds that I wanted to mention is that at the end of every single Hellhound round, you end up getting a max ammo. So while typically, you know, the Hellhounds may just kind of seem like a random threat thrown in there that could possibly be annoying, you end up getting a max ammo at the end of every single Hellhound round. So it actually ends up being a round that you kind of look forward to, especially if you're struggling on ammo. Please give me Jug. I have opened up literally every other single door at this point. See, this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes you don't get Jug until very last. Oh, well, it is what it is. I just have to pray that the game won't glitch out on me. But that mechanic of, like, the special enemy type round giving you a max ammo at the end of it carried over to many other types of them. Like, for example, you have the Jumping Jacks and Die Rise. They give you a max ammo. See, that's what I'm talking about. This game is super glitchy. I definitely shot that zombie, and it didn't even register the first time. You got, like, the Jumping Jacks and Die Rise that give you a max ammo. And then you got, like, those parasite flying bug things in Shadows of Evil that give you a max ammo. Then you got like the meatballs as well in Shadows of Evil. Oh no, I do not want to go down here. Please, reload, finish. Wonderwolf be with me. Did you guys see that right there? The zombies, like, just like all glitched out. They're pathing in their AI. They were like, well, he ran too far to the left, so now we don't even know how to target him. But anyways, considering that this is the last hut that I've opened, as you can see, Juggernog finally spawned in. That's one thing I hate about like the original Wonderwolf reload, as I'm sure you guys have seen many times. Like, as it's finishing up the reload, I keep trying to run to cancel out that last part of the reload animation so I can get back to shooting. However, it doesn't exactly work that way because, like, even when the ammo says at the bottom that you're good to go to shoot, if you start sprinting, it doesn't cancel out the animation. You end up like having to finish it anyway. I know that probably makes very little sense as I'm sitting here trying to explain it, but if you play Call of Duty and you know how reload canceling works, then you know what I mean. One cool new addition to this map is also the zip line. I mean, it's absolutely useless considering the fact that it costs 1,500 points to use, so on the low rounds, it's not really something you want to be using, but on the higher rounds, if you have enough money and if you need a quick escape, yeah, it can be kind of cool to hop on here, spend a quick 1,500 to get taken back up to the center hut. However, more times than not, by the time that you actually get back up to the center hut after... I got one tapped. That's what I'm talking about. I would have been fine if I had Juggernog, but the game didn't want to give it to me till last. Well, I guess we'll play for a bit longer. I mean, I haven't been recording long enough to make this a full video yet. Nobody ever gives any love to the Arasaka, so you know what? We're gonna give some love to the Arasaka today. Like, by the time that you get off the zipline and you're back at the center hut, all the zombies that you were trying to escape from are already back and waiting to surround you, so it's usually pretty useless to take that thing in the first place. Are you okay? This will probably get me demonetized, but you can also mess with Peter McCain's corpse here. You can, like, shoot him and you can fly him around. Hey, what are you doing, buddy? Yeah, I'm just hanging around. Speaking of demonetization and stuff like that, normally I never really talk about this stuff mid-video or plug it, but I just wanted to let you guys know for any of my channel members that are watching this. Right now, I'm currently working on special emotes for you guys, so right now, whenever you guys comment, there's like a special badge next to your name that lets everybody know that you're a member. However, I'm planning on making special emotes, so then when you guys are commenting on the videos, you guys will be able to use those. And the emotes are based off of the channel's OC. For those of you that don't know, the OC for this channel is Buff Asian Boy. It's the person that's on, like, the profile profile picture of the channel. There's a whole backstory to Buff Asian Boy. We won't get into it here. Basically, every time that we play a game like an RPG or just some other game that has a character creator, we always name them Buff Asian Boy. We make them buff. We give them red hair. It's just like, it's just like a thing on the channel here. But anyways, all of the emotes are going to be based off of that. So if instead of using like the stereotypical emoji laughing, you'll instead be able to use an emoji where Buff Asian Boy is laughing, or where Buff Asian Boy is drinking a smoothie, or where Buff Asian Boy is looking feisty with his hands up. And there's no way I died on round 3. We're going again. I promise, I'm usually never this terrible at zombies. It just happens when I'm recording because I don't have any audio right now, and I don't like wearing headphones because, like, when I put on my headphones, they're noise canceling, so I just end up, like, screaming, and I don't want to be screaming in everybody's ears during the video. And I mean, I could, like, turn my TV down really low, which is what I end up doing when I'm making videos on, like, Souls games, for example, where I really want to hear, but for, like, zombies, it's hard to play unless you have, like, full audio. Because as you're playing, you never realize just how important audio is, but then once you don't have it, you're like, oh my gosh, I actually really miss having that. Being able to hear when they're sneaking up on you is genuinely huge. And plus, World of War is just super glitchy as is. I guarantee once we get to Black Ops 1, we'll be hitting like round 20 in every video, no problem. There's another gun on this map that doesn't get enough love. That is the Gewehr, or the Gewehr, so many people say it so many different ways. I just say the Gewehr. I don't know if that's the proper pronunciation or not, nor do I care. It just sucks that some of the semi-auto rifles in World of War Zombies are genuinely useless, like the M1 Garand, the Gewehr 43. Like, could you imagine if these guns were actually good? I would love to get to round 30 with an M1 Garand. Like, sure, in something like Vanguard Zombies, that's actually viable now, but like, come on, I'm talking the OG World of War Garand. Like, that thing hits different. One thing I love about World of War Zombies is how much it feels like a tower defense game. At least when you're in the spawn, you know, you're going to the windows, you're shooting them with rifles and stuff like that. And if you know anything about the development of World of War Zombies, that's actually what the creators of the mode were like heavily inspired by, was like tower defense stuff. In fact, if you'd like to know more about zombies and the history of it, I was planning on doing a retrospective about like all the Zombies games before. However, the original video that I made on it really didn't do that good at all, so I ended up just kind of scrapping that idea. However, if you're interested in seeing that original video that I made where I did like a complete retrospective on World of War, I broke down all the nitty-gritty details about every single map, the release, the development, all of that. I'll be sure to leave a link to it like somewhere towards the top of the description so you guys can go and check it out. I'm actually really proud of that one. It took me like an entire month to put together, and it only ended up getting like 20 or 30 views or something like that, which honestly, it didn't bother me that bad, and to this day, it still doesn't bother me that it didn't do that great because I had a lot of fun making it. Like, to this day, that is one of the most fulfilling videos I've ever made. Like, it was so satisfying once I finally got it up. And the way I see it, like, even if the video didn't do too great views-wise, just considering the fact that I had so much fun making that video makes it worth it in my heart, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really care about the views necessarily. However, if I upload a video and I see that it doesn't do well, then that's kind of my indication to maybe not do that again, or if I do it again, then maybe branch out or evolve it in some way so that more people will want to click on it. That's kind of my philosophy with YouTube. Like, make content that I actually want to make and that I have fun with and that I enjoy creating. However, if it doesn't do well, then maybe switch up the formula or evolve it in some way so then it interests more people. Because at the end of the day, while this is my job, you know, it's always important to keep things fun, make things fresh, and make sure you're actually enjoying what you're doing. I know this is a totally random tangent, but if you're new to the channel, this is just kind of what I do. I start a video with one thing in mind, and then conversations go left, right, center, and all over the place. Hey, look at that. We got two of some of my most favorite guns in World of War. The trench gun, which is one of my favorite shotguns in Zombies, period, and then the FG-42, which I was saying back 2 episodes ago in the NACHT episode. This has always been one of my favorite weapons in World of War, and I'm not exactly sure why. I just love how it feels. I love how it controls. I love the aesthetic of it, the reload, just everything. I love this weapon. I still can't believe that this thing is an LMG. I could have swore it was like an AR or an SMG, but then like a couple years ago, I just found out it was like, you know, an LMG. Let's go ahead and get a sound effects check on that trench gun. So good, man. It's so clean. Well, I've been recording for a little while now, so I think this is where I'm gonna call it quits. Today we're going to be revisiting Der Riese 5,016 days later. I can't believe we're here already, but we're already at the end of the World at War segment of this series. I've been hitting you guys with videos in this series back to back to back for the last couple days. After today, we're going to take a brief break from this series, but I promise it's not going to be any more than like, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 days before we come back to it. And obviously with this being the end of the World at War segment of the series, you guys already know what that means. The next time we come back to it, we're going to be in Black Ops 1 on UNTOTEN. Let's not worry about next episode till we get there. Today we are here here on RIESE. As I'm sure many of you do, I have a very strong level of nostalgia for this map. I have so many memories on it, whether it be the map first releasing and just like trying to figure out what the Pack-a-Punch is and what it does. Between that and opening it up for the first time and then discovering the Flytrap Easter egg by accident for the first time, I'll never forget that. And then just camping with my friends on the catwalk until like 3, 4 a.m. Sometimes we just stay up through the entirety of the night, even though it was a school night. I have so many memories on this map. But before we discuss some of the nostalgic memories, we need to talk about some of the things that this map added. So one thing that this map changed from NUMA is bringing back perks that, you know, like don't change places every single game like NUMA did, and I am so glad that they brought that back. I like when I start up a game and I just know where the perks are gonna be. You know, as much as I love NUMA and Are you okay, zombie? I'm telling you guys, like, I know World at War is glitchy, and every time that I go to make a video on it, I know I'm gonna see at least a couple of glitches, but I swear, in this series so far, I've experienced more glitches in my time making this series than I have in the entirety of me playing World at War. Okay, well, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, because I have been playing this game for, like, 15 years at this point, but still, I've experienced so many random glitches, like AI breaking type glitches. I don't know if maybe before I was just shooting the zombies so fast that I never took the time to even recognize they were glitching out, but I don't know, I feel like I've been experiencing it so much more, like zombies floating in the air, zombies AI breaking and teleporting all over the place. Yeah, like I was saying before, it's so nice when you start up a match and you just know where the perks are gonna be. Like, I know where Double Tap is at. I know where Juggernog is at. It's so nice. Go ahead and turn on the power and just get that hit of nostalgia right there. I'll never forget that. I thought that was like the coolest thing at the time when I turned the power on for the first time and I saw the bridge like coming together. It may seem like a really small thing, but when you break it down and think about it and think about what the bridge is there for, before you turn on the power, the map isn't very interconnected. You have two different paths. You can either go that way and go towards like the Thompson and all that, or you can go the other way and go for like the trench gun and the other weapons over there. And things are rather disconnected for a while until you get to these ledges and you drop down and you turn on the power, and that's when both of the different sides of the map come together and they become connected. I've always just thought that that was like a cool thing, even if it's small. All right, we're getting towards the end of the round here. We got a nuke, so I'm gonna go ahead and spin the box. Did I please get like a wonder? Actually, I don't know if I want a Wonder Waff, because that's one thing that I... Yes, there was two weapons I wanted to get in this video, the PPSH and the Wonder Waff, and well, I can scratch one of them off the list. And since they're here, we'll go ahead and talk about it. One returning feature from NUMA, and one that would actually be in the next couple of maps, is the Hellhounds. They have made their triumphant return here in RIESE, and man, they fit in just as well here as they did in NUMA. They're great. If I'm gonna be honest, when it comes to like the Hellhounds and their presence, I just felt like they were at their peak in World at War. Like, they fit in the best in this game. But anyway, one thing that I wanted to touch on in the last video, but I just kind of like cut myself off before I was actually able to do so, is the fact that the Wonder Waff, it's great in NUMA and I like using it there. However, I really don't like using it in World at War RIESE specifically. The Wonder Waff in any other map, and even the Black Ops 1 version of RIESE, it's fine. It's a great gun. However, in RIESE, if you accidentally zap yourself with the Wonder Waff, you lose Jug. So like the icon will still be there. However, for some reason, there's like a bizarre glitch where the effectiveness of Jug just stops working. Like, you go down in 2 hits, sometimes even 1 hit after you get zapped by it. And the unfortunate thing is that the radius of what it takes for your character to get zapped with the Wonder Waff in World at War, it's a surprisingly big radius, so it's quite easy to zap yourself and just not have Jug for the rest of the game, and there's nothing you can do about it because, again, it's still there, so the game registers it as you still have Jug. However, for some reason, that's not actually the case, and you don't actually have Jug. And considering the fact that there's no way to just down yourself and lose your perks and get back up again, because as we discussed back in the VERRUCKT episode, the mechanic of quick revive allowing you to revive yourself wasn't actually introduced until Black Ops 1. There's nothing you can do about it in this game, and it's really unfortunate, and it honestly makes me quite hesitant to actually pick up the Wonder Waff in RIESE. Most times I end up just sticking with the ray gun and the PPSH because it's honestly just not worth the risk to me to pick up the Wonder Waff. Like, sure, in the later rounds I'll do it if I really need like another weapon, if all my other weapons just aren't working at that point, but otherwise I avoid that thing at all costs. And right now there's a max ammo over there. I'm really trying to get to it, but my PPSH is out of ammo, so I'm trying to get through them. Please, I really want that max ammo. I want to be able to use my PPSH, but I'm trying to be careful. I don't want to push through the zombies because, as we learned in the last episode, this game is glitchy in more ways than I realized. I won't spoil what happened at the end of the last episode just in case you guys missed it, but let's just say World at War is willing to break its own rules just to screw over the player sometimes. Let me also just say I am glad that every single map after NACHT and UNTOTEN kind of like, you know, sped up the pace a bit. When we did the NACHT and UNTOTEN video, it took me like a solid 12 minutes just to get to round 6, but here we are. I've only been recording for maybe like, I don't know, 10 or 11 minutes, and we're already on round 8, so I'm liking this fast-paced a lot more than the earlier episodes. Oh my gosh, we're on round 9 and we have like another dog round already. Normally they don't make a return that fast, but you know what? I'll take it. I've been struggling for ammo, so you know, I'll take all the max ammo I can get, and plus it's just an easy round anyway. There's the max ammo, and also Pack-a-Punch is finally open. We'll be returning to that in a minute. Go ahead and grab this nuke for some easy points, and just like that, the Pack-a-Punch is open. Unfortunately, we're a few points short of being able to afford it, so we'll be back here in a few, but Pack-a-Punch, increase your firepower. You can see you got the flaccid ray gun, and then the ready-to-perform ray gun, we'll call it. But anyway, since we're so close to being able to afford it, we're not gonna run away just yet. We're gonna hang around here until I have enough to buy. Actually, I gotta be careful. I was gonna go down there and camp out the barrier, but I just realized this is World of War. I don't want to get myself in any close-quarter situations, just considering the fact that if one zombie even swats at me, well then, you know, I'm probably gonna be dead just with the way the gravity works and everything like that. I've heard that this is actually a pretty decent spot to, like, kind of hoard up the zombies. I've personally never tried it for any, like, particular high-round runs. I'm pretty sure you have to leave this door closed for the strategy to actually be effective though, so I'm pretty sure I just messed it up. I really want to Pack-a-Punch, but I also don't want to do it mid-round, so I think I'm gonna have to end this round before we try anything. So letting the PPSH do its thing. Rip and tear, baby. Rip and tear. PPSH is so deadly. It has the mobility of an SMG, the fire rate of an SMG, the damage of an assault rifle, the magazine of an LMG, and all around it's just... It is such a beautiful gun. Like, look at it. It is so beautiful. But we Pack-a-Punched it, and now it is the Reaper. It is so clean. Between the camo, the sound effects, like, just the way it feels to shoot, the reload, it is such a clean gun. And while this fire rate, you know, it's already pretty good. It's already pretty lightning fast. We're gonna go ahead and buy double tap. Because while it's nice having a really powerful SMG, why don't we just make this thing an absolute minigun? We're gonna go ahead and do a bit of a sound check and a fire rate check on the PPSH, just, you know... Yeah, that's pretty deadly. But now that we got a Pack-a-Punch weapon, it's pretty safe to say that, you know, we're kind of getting set up here, so we're going to get set up here on the catwalk. Just got to chillax, wait for them to run at us, let them line up, and then shoot them down. Just... I don't know, it's the classic catwalk strategy. What else is there to say? Even people that haven't played zombies before are familiar with this spot. Like, it's so iconic at this point. You and the boys, you get set up, you get Pack-a-Punch, you come to the catwalk, and that's really that, really. One other thing I should add that this map added is the Bowie knife. So this was the first map to have any sort of, like, upgrade to your knife. I remember seeing it in the trailer for the first time and getting so hyped. Unfortunately, we just hit round 12, which means we just left the point of where it would be a one-hit, because up until round 11, it's a one-hit. However, everything past that, unfortunately, it's going to take 2 hits to get him down, and again, with how glitchy World of War is, and with the way that the zombies suck you in, even then, up until round 11, you have to be really careful when you're using it, but it's still a nice addition. Personally, if I'm going to be honest, I'm more of a Galvin Knuckles guy, and I'm sure everybody else can relate to that. Yes, we got my favorite shotgun, the trench gun. I love this shotgun, even around 12. It's still tearing through. Oh, gotta be careful.
KIA, maggot sack! Not even close!
Even on round 12, it's tearing through them. Why is this gun so satisfying? Like... Is it just me, or does it feels so good to use? I've always loved the knife upgrades in zombies, though. Like, the Bowie knife is cool and all. Like, it's so iconic. It's a classic. I love the Bowie knife, but man, the Galvin Knuckles, I buy them on every map that they're on Black Ops 2. I just find it so satisfying just punching the zombies in the face, or like, when you get like a jumping jacks round, for example, and you're able to punch them to get a free perk, which I won't speak on that too much now, because, you know, that's still a whole 2 games away yet, so we're not gonna worry about Black Ops 2 just yet. Another cool feature that, honestly, most people don't end up utilizing, and with good reason, you know, there's not really a point to do it unless, you know, you need to escape in a hurry, or if you're just trying to fast travel back to the spawn for one reason or another. The teleporters can actually be used outside of just linking them to open up the Pack-a-Punch. As you can see here, if you teleport to the mainframe, hope that no zombies get close to you, and then it teleports you right back to the spawn, and I've always found this to be such a cool little feature. And then every time that you teleport, a drop also spawns, and in this case, it's a nuke, so we're gonna go ahead and pick that up, and that also will give us enough to Pack-a-Punch, so we're gonna Pack-a-Punch the trench gun while we're here. I could go for a ray gun or a Wonder Waffle. Like, come on, man. I need to use the gut shot at least once. Come on, baby. Here it is. We got the gut shot. Oh my gosh, look at the camo. I love this gun so much, and it's also a dog round, so it's perfect. Shotguns are literally perfect for the dog rounds. Can we just... So satisfying. And now the reload has been tremendously upgraded, because now every time that you go to reload, it isn't just one shell that gets loaded. it loads up 2 shells at a time. So you get near double the capacity in each, I don't know what you would call it. It's not a clip and it's not a mag, but for, you know, for every time that you fully fill up your reserve of bullets, you have almost double the amount of bullets that you had before, but you also reload it twice as fast. The trench gun is truly a force to be reckoned with. Like, this gun is deadly. But with that being said, we're gonna camp on the catwalk for a bit because I'm trying to save up enough money to get quick revive. I'm weird, like, even though quick revive serves absolutely no purpose in World at War in terms of solo play, I always buy it anyway just because my OCD tells me that I have to have all 4 perks sitting down there. I feel incomplete until I can see them all. Look at all these drops, man. Like, I've seen a lot of drops on the catwalk before, but I've been getting showered with drops so far this game. Hello. Goodbye. Wait, there's something on your face. Let's go ahead and complete the iconic 4. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. With all 4 perks down there, I am officially set up. At this point, I don't even know. Should I continue to camp on the catwalk, or should I try to find, like, a training spot somewhere in this map? I've genuinely never really tried to train on this map before. Another thing worth mentioning that this map had was the Beauty of Annihilation Easter egg song, which let me just go ahead and say, it is one of my favorite Easter eggs. Well, it looks like our game is over. That was entirely my fault. My brain was telling me to just continue to use the Reaper because obviously using a shotgun on the catwalk isn't always the best idea, but my ego and my addiction to the trench gun wouldn't let me put it away, and I faced the consequences. But anyway, as I was trying to say before my unfortunate demise, Beauty of Annihilation is one of my favorite Easter egg songs in all of Zombies. It's right up there with like 115 and Where Are We Going? Now that I come to think of it, it would be really hard for me to rank zombie songs. There are so many great ones. Like I said, we got Beauty of Annihilation, 115, The One, and then Where Are We Going, and Snakeskin Boots on Shadows of Evil. There were so many great songs in the Zombies catalog. Anyways, now I want to hear from you guys. Did this video bring back any nostalgic memories for you guys, whether that be camping on the catwalk with your friends or discovering Pack-a-Punch for the first time? And I didn't even get to do it because I went down, but I wanted to do the Flytrap Easter egg as well, which was like kind of like the first Easter egg in Zombies technically. Whatever it is and whatever you're thinking, I'd love to hear from you guys. But anyway, as always, a shout out to the Patrons and channel members, comments, favorite grandma, Liberty Zap, Big Daddy, Maddie, Chilibut, Source Rex, Ray, Zach, Polo, Radio, Webster, Lamas, Bianca, Spiritory, Drippy, Sonnet, the Last King, Imagine, Vince, Vinci, Rob, Team, Thumb, 71, Aaron Reynolds, and Unknown. Thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing day. Stay beautiful. I love you all. Peace.